The rain hammered against the windshield as Marcus Chen gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white with tension. His daughter's fever had spiked to 104 degrees an hour ago, and the nearest emergency room was still 20 minutes away. Every second felt like an eternity. But as he rounded the corner onto Riverside Drive, his headlights caught something that made his heart stop. A figure crumpled on the wet pavement, one arm raised defensively, the other clutching what looked like a broken wheelchair. Marcus slammed on the brakes. "Please, don't hurt me," the woman's voice cut through the rain, trembling and desperate. "I can't walk. Please, just leave me alone." In the back seat, 7-year-old Lily stirred, her feverish eyes fluttering open. "Daddy? What's happening?" Marcus's mind raced. His daughter needed help. They were already running late. But the woman on the ground was clearly terrified, vulnerable, soaked to the bone. He could see now that she was young, maybe in her early 30s, wearing what had once been an expensive business suit, now torn and muddy. Her wheelchair lay several feet away, one wheel spinning uselessly in the air. "Stay in the car, sweetheart," Marcus said softly, turning on his hazard lights. He grabbed his jacket and stepped out into the deluge. The woman flinched violently as he approached, trying to drag herself backward across the pavement. "Don't. I said don't come near me." Marcus stopped immediately, holding up his hands. "I'm not going to hurt you. I promise. My name is Marcus. You're injured, and you need help." "Everyone says that," she spat, her voice breaking. "Everyone lies." He could see the fear in her eyes, raw, primal fear that spoke of recent trauma. Her left leg was bent at an odd angle, and blood trickled from a gash on her forehead. "Listen, I have a little girl in my car who's very sick. We're heading to the hospital right now. Let me at least get you off this road before someone else comes around that corner and doesn't stop in time." Something in his voice, perhaps the genuine concern, perhaps the mention of his daughter, made her hesitate. She studied his face in the glow of the headlights, searching for deception. Finally, she gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. Marcus moved slowly, telegraphing every movement. As he got closer, he could see she was shaking violently, though whether from cold, fear, or both, he couldn't tell. "I'm going to lift you now, okay? Is anything broken besides your leg?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I can't feel my legs. I haven't been able to for 3 years." Gently, carefully, Marcus lifted her into his arms. She weighed almost nothing, and he could feel her trembling against his chest. He placed her in the front passenger seat, then retrieved her mangled wheelchair and wedged it into the trunk as best he could. As he climbed back into the driver's seat, soaked through, the woman spoke again, her voice steadier now but hollow. "You should have left me there. You should have just kept driving." "I'm glad I didn't," Marcus said simply, pulling back onto the road. In the rearview mirror, Lily had fallen back asleep, her small chest rising and falling rapidly. The woman turned to look at the child, and something in her expression softened. "What's wrong with her?" "Ear infection that got out of control. Her mother died 2 years ago, cancer. It's just been the two of us since then." Marcus didn't know why he was sharing this with a stranger, but something about the moment felt confessional. "I'm doing my best, but sometimes my best doesn't feel like enough." "I know that feeling," the woman said quietly. She was silent for a moment, then added, "My name is Victoria. Victoria Zhang. And before tonight, I was the CEO of Zhang Technologies." Marcus glanced at her sharply. Zhang Technologies was one of the largest tech companies in the state, known for innovative software solutions and a cutthroat corporate culture. "Was?" Victoria laughed bitterly. 3 hours ago, my board of directors held an emergency meeting. They voted me out. Unanimous decision. They said I was no longer fit to lead. That my condition was bad for the company image. She gestured vaguely at her legs. I built that company from nothing. 12 years of my life. And they threw me out like garbage because I can't walk up the stairs to the executive floor anymore. That's illegal, Marcus said, anger flaring in his chest. It is. But they're smart. They didn't say it was about the wheelchair. They said it was about judgment. About recent poor decisions. About lost revenue in the third quarter. Victoria's hands clenched into fists. I spent 3 years proving I could do anything they could do. I worked twice as hard. Stayed twice as late. And none of it mattered in the end. They pulled into the hospital emergency bay, and Marcus immediately saw the chaos, ambulances lined up, paramedics rushing in every direction. A major accident on the interstate, someone shouted. The wait would be hours. Marcus made a decision. There's a clinic about 10 minutes from here. My friend Jake runs it, he's a pediatrician, but he can look at both of you. It'll be faster. Victoria looked at him incredulously. Why are you doing this? You don't know me. I could be anyone. You're someone who needs help, Marcus said. That's all I need to know. 20 minutes later, they were in the small, warmly lit clinic. Jake worked quickly, treating Lily's infection with antibiotics and getting her fever down while his nurse, Maria, attended to Victoria's head wound and examined her leg. The leg isn't broken, Maria announced with relief. Badly bruised, and you're going to need a new wheelchair, but nothing that won't heal. As the immediate crisis passed, Victoria watched Marcus with his daughter. The way he stroked her hair as the medicine began to work. The way he read to her from a battered copy of Where the Wild Things Are that he pulled from his jacket pocket, his voice gentle and steady. The way Lily looked at him with complete trust, even in her discomfort. You're a good father, Victoria said when Lily had fallen into a peaceful sleep. Marcus looked up, surprised. I'm just doing what any parent would do. No, Victoria said firmly. You're doing what every parent should do. There's a difference. She paused, something shifting in her expression. Can I tell you what happened tonight? I mean, really happened? Marcus nodded, settling into a chair beside her. After the board meeting, I left through the back entrance. I couldn't face the press, couldn't face the pitying looks from employees who'd watched me get escorted out. My driver had already been terminated, part of the transition, they called it. So I was trying to get to my car on my own. Victoria's voice grew quiet. 3 men were waiting in the parking garage. They knew I'd be alone. Knew I couldn't run. They wanted my purse, my jewelry, my phone. When I tried to call for help, they pushed me out of my chair and... She couldn't finish, but she didn't need to. Marcus understood. They took everything, Victoria continued, tears streaming down her face now. Even my dignity. They laughed when I couldn't stand up. Called me useless. Broken. One of them kicked my chair away, and it rolled into traffic. That's where you found me, trying to crawl after it in the rain, after they'd left me there like trash. Twice in one night, I was told I was worthless. Marcus reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away, and took her hand. You're not worthless. You're not broken. You're a survivor. And I'm sorry, so sorry, that the world showed you its ugliest face tonight. Victoria squeezed his hand, something she hadn't let herself do in years, accept comfort from another person. Why did you stop? Really? You had every reason to keep going. Marcus looked at his sleeping daughter, then back at Victoria. About 6 months after my wife died, I was ready to give up. I couldn't pay the bills. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't see a way forward. I was standing on a bridge one night, and this old woman walked by. She didn't know what I was thinking, but she stopped and talked to me for an hour about her garden. Just, her garden. About how she planted tomatoes every year, even though half of them died. About how the ones that survived tasted like hope.